constantly debating who the real Meghan Markle is. You know, is she with Love Meghan? Is she the girl sitting down at the Fortune most powerful women girl? She's a chameleon. She changes based on her environment. I think
South Park had already predicted Meghan Markle's endless publicity stunts, and her latest Dior drama is proof of that. One moment, she's walking into Dior's Paris fitting room, like she's about to steal the spotlight, and the next, the fashion house's reaction goes viral, turning the whole thing into a massive internet moment.
To it. And I think part of that problem is that Meghan is such a control freak. She can't allow people to work well. That's why everything they begin with and they start off with ends up being just terrible, because Meghan's not a creative, Harry's not a creative, and they can't allow the professionals.
From what's been shared online, it wasn't just about the outfit, it was the energy. Meghan showed up with her usual confidence, but something about the vibe backstage felt off. You could see the stiff smiles, the awkward tension, and that subtle sense that Dior wasn't exactly thrilled. Fashion watchers and insiders are already gossiping about what this might mean for Meghan's future with top luxury brands. But Dior isn't some gossip magazine, it's Dior. When a brand like that starts distancing itself, it's not just another headline, it could actually shift how the entire fashion world views her. So, is this the start of Meghan's fashion downfall, or just a harmless misunderstanding that blew up online?
Whole, again, continuing story of Meghan Markle and allegedly bullying and being terrible to staff members. It's a horrible reputation to have, and it definitely turns people off within the industry she so wants validation from.
If there's one couple South Park loves to roast, it's Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. But this time, real life might have just outdone the cartoon. Paris was glowing that morning, the kind of soft golden light that makes the whole city look like a movie set. The Dior headquarters on Avenue Montaigne shimmered under it, every inch of marble and glass whispering exclusivity. Inside, everything ran like clockwork. Stylists darted from one fitting to another. Models floated through hallways in their couture gowns, and assistants whispered to each other as cameras clicked. The guest list was stacked with fashion royalty. You either belonged in that room, or you didn't.
He's like, oh my God, what did I marry? There's no way Kate is doing this to William. Not a chance.
And that's where things started to take a strange turn, because among the elegance, the grace, and the calm rhythm of luxury life, there was about to be a disruption, a moment that no one could have predicted. Yet somehow South Park might have called it years ago. When Meghan Markle walked into Dior that day, she wasn't just another celebrity visiting Paris Fashion Week. She came in like she owned the moment, confident, camera ready, the kind of entrance meant to command attention. But almost immediately, something felt off. The smiles around her were polite but strained. Conversations that had been flowing seconds before started to fade. There was a quiet shift in the air, the kind that happens when people realize something isn't quite right. Within minutes, Dior's front desk staff began checking records, scanning schedules, and exchanging glances. No one could find any record of Meghan's appointment. There was no scheduled fitting, no pre-approval, and no message from management confirming her visit. For a brand like Dior, where every detail is planned down to the second, that's not just a small mistake, it's a red flag.
I want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
Meghan stood in the lobby, her team hovering nearby. Her usual composed smile started to fade as confusion spread around the room. Assistants typed furiously, managers whispered in corners, and within moments, the words spread through the building. Meghan Markle had shown up uninvited, claiming she had a private fitting booked. Now, this might not sound like a big deal to most people, but in the world of luxury fashion, showing up without clearance is the social equivalent of crashing a royal dinner. Dior isn't just a store, it's an institution. Its ambassadors are handpicked. Icons like Charlize Theron, Jennifer Lawrence, and Natalie Portman, people who represent timeless style and quiet grace. So when Meghan appeared, insisting she had a fitting no one knew about, it wasn't just awkward, it was chaos.
What?
It was really hard.
Soon, Dior's head of communications stepped out, calm, composed, and clearly in control, the kind of person who doesn't need to raise their voice to be heard. The room seemed to hold its breath. With a perfectly practiced smile, she explained that there was no record of a fitting, no approval, and no reason for Meghan's visit. The words were polite, but the message was clear. This wasn't happening. For Meghan's team, the scene must have felt like a nightmare. They'd imagined a grand moment, Meghan stepping into Dior, camera flashes catching her elegance, headlines praising her as the next big fashion muse. Instead, they were watching it all unravel in real time. What was supposed to be a power move turned into a quiet but brutal reminder that fame doesn't always open every door.
Totally, like, you should write a book because your family, like, stupid, and then so are, like, journalists.
Behind the scenes, what no one in the lobby knew was that this wasn't some last-minute idea. Meghan's team had actually been chasing Dior for months. They'd sent proposal after proposal, pitching her as the new face of modern royalty, a woman of strength, resilience, and class. They wanted her to be Dior's next global ambassador. It wasn't just about the clothes, it was about legitimacy. For Meghan, a Dior deal would mean acceptance into a world that had kept her at arm's length, the world of true luxury. But Dior wasn't sold. The more Meghan's team pushed, the less interested Dior became. The proposals grew desperate. Some even compared Meghan to Princess Diana, which, to Dior, was a major mistake. Inside the brand, Diana isn't a marketing figure. She's sacred. To use her name as a sales pitch was seen as tone-deaf. Quietly, Dior decided Meghan wasn't the right fit. Her image came with too much drama, too much noise.
Look, Kyle, we just kind of don't care about some dumb prince and his stupid wife.
Still, Meghan showed up. And not alone. She brought a team, a stylist, and a man carrying a full camera rig. To Dior's staff, it didn't look like a visit. It looked like a production, a scene. Cameras rolled as Meghan walked in, her expression calm but purposeful. And in that moment, it became clear. This wasn't just about fashion, it was about content. What looked like an awkward misunderstanding was actually part of a larger plan, one that Meghan's team had been building for a while. Reports later revealed that the visit was being filmed as part of a new documentary project. The theme? The Doors That Close. It was supposed to show Meghan facing rejection with grace, turning no into empowerment. But the irony was, the rejection wasn't real. It was staged. Or at least, it was meant to look that way.
Down with the Motorhead! Where does
Except Dior didn't play along. When the footage surfaced, you could see the discomfort in everyone's faces. Staff moved cautiously, clearly aware that they were being filmed. Meghan stood firm, her posture perfect, her expression frozen somewhere between calm and annoyance. The scene ended quickly, with Dior refusing to accommodate her unplanned visit. She left the building without the triumphant footage she'd come for, but the cameras still captured everything. Eventually, word got out. First through whispers in the fashion world, then through leaked emails, and finally through a short security clip that made its way to French media. The footage was grainy but clear. Meghan entering the building, waiting, realizing things weren't going her way, and leaving. No glam filters, no polished lighting, just raw, awkward reality. The clip went viral almost instantly. The internet split in two. Some defended her, saying she was misunderstood or unfairly treated, while others saw it for what it looked like. Another carefully staged PR moment gone wrong. But the loudest reaction wasn't from the internet. It was from Dior, or rather, from their silence.
We want privacy! We want privacy! We want privacy! We want privacy!
Dior never issued a statement, never commented, never denied anything. They didn't need to. Their silence spoke louder than any headline. In the luxury world, silence isn't weakness, it's power. When Dior chose not to engage, it sent a message across the entire fashion industry. This brand doesn't play games. They don't chase trends, and they don't let anyone use their name for publicity. The ripple effect was immediate. Calls stopped being returned. Projects that were once in discussion quietly disappeared. Stylists refused to lend pieces. PR teams began to distance themselves. Even Netflix, which had been working on Meghan's new documentary, suddenly went quiet. No big announcement, just canceled meetings and unanswered emails.
And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist. We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard.
Meghan had tried to turn Dior into her redemption story. Instead, she became a cautionary tale. In trying to control her narrative, she'd shown just how much of it was manufactured. Her doors that close theme, meant to be inspiring, now looked like a metaphor for what was really happening in her career. Because one by one, those doors were actually closing.
Down with the Motorhead! Windows up!
Meanwhile, Dior carried on as if nothing happened. They released new campaigns with their official ambassadors, posted photos of glamorous premieres, and focused on their work, not the drama. It was a masterclass in control. By not reacting, Dior had reinforced exactly what made them untouchable. In the weeks that followed, the fashion world took note. Dior's calm, measured silence became the standard. Every major brand was reminded of the same unspoken rule. Real prestige doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply is. For Meghan, though, the aftermath was rough. What was supposed to be her big moment in Paris turned into a viral embarrassment. Her image, once carefully curated, now looked shaky. The industry that once found her fascinating began to find her unpredictable. And in fashion, unpredictability isn't exciting, it's risky. She had wanted to be seen as powerful, modern, and unbothered. But Dior's quiet dismissal made it clear. True power doesn't need cameras or scripts or staged moments. It doesn't beg for attention. It just stands there, elegant and unshaken, while the noise fades away.